Yo, what's poppin', y'all? I know I ain't been on this channel. Yo, it's been a minute, man. What's poppin', y'all? I appreciate y'all for still subbing to this channel. I'm saying, it was supposed to be the daily channel, but yo, let's get into the video. Is introvert a bad thing? Nah, this what I kind of like. This is my opinion, of course, on, I guess, being introvert. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you want to call it, being alone. But yeah, man, I honestly don't think being introvert or being alone is a bad thing. I will say being alone and stuff, it's like, it kind of helps, not even kind of, it helps you, I'm saying, trying to find the best you. It helps with dealing with yourself. It helps with changing the things that you know that need to be better about yourself. And sometimes when you like, I guess, I know for me, I'm speaking for myself too. I know sometimes even when I was in Atlanta or just wherever, man, I always had, like, I guess, somebody with me or somebody around me or this and that. It wasn't necessarily always like the folks I know I shouldn't have been around. It was just more so in the sense of, I guess sometimes when you have, you know what I'm saying, there's so much talk around you, you never have that time to really like sit down and like sit down with yourself. And I think that's what, as y'all peep, even when COVID went down and stuff, it was kind of one of those things where it was like everybody had to, you know what I'm saying, sit down with themselves. And not everybody wanted to sit down with themselves. A lot of times we never really know our true selves. And I believe God really tries to show us that a lot. And that comes with spending time with God. You know what I'm saying? Being in your quiet place, your prayer closet, all that type of good stuff. And yeah, man. And I think introvert, I think people kind of get twisted a little bit with it because it's like, I feel like we as people, even now to this day, even sometimes I do it myself, it's like, when we run with something, we overdo it, you know what I'm saying? So if we an introvert, we try to, you know what I mean, like shout out to all my people who introvert, you know what I'm saying, like this or whatever, da-da-da. And we kind of be over dramatic with it. And we're to a point, we so introvert that we won't speak to nobody. We ain't talking to nobody. We say, man, I'm saying the heck with the world. Like, I don't care what nobody else think. I ain't talking to nobody, da-da-da. And like I said, we went over dramatic with it. And I've been there before, I ain't gonna lie. And I'm gonna sit there and tell y'all I have before many times. But what I'm learning now, you definitely need people. You definitely need the right ones around you. You definitely need the right ones speaking in, you know what I'm saying, speaking life into you. And yeah, it's like, I feel like it has its pros and cons with it. And being introvert, I will say, I don't even like the word introvert, but just being alone, I'm like, I feel like it helps me, I guess, just deal with a lot of stuff. It helps me learn a lot of stuff. It helps me, you feel me, like just, I guess, deal with myself. So say for instance, if I'm going to church or something, I learn something that's in church, you know what I'm saying? I learn something from the Word of God or watching a podcast, something, I always go to my prayer closet. I always just sit down and start thinking with myself. And it's like the inner thoughts of God, like, God, what I need to do, like, you know what I'm saying, what I need to do to learn, what I need to do to, like, what I need to do this, what I need to do better with myself. Yeah, man, I feel like it helps you just, like I already said, it helps you learn yourself. It helps you be a better version of you because you don't really have so much of people talking this, talking that. You don't have a lot of people, you know what I'm saying, whether that be bad stuff, and I feel like a lot of times we have the wrong company around us, but that's a whole nother topic I'm gonna talk about later in the other videos. But yeah, man, I wouldn't say necessarily the introvert is being a bad thing. I think you just gotta have that balance with it. And I don't even like the word balance because we overdo that too. that halfway mark for you gotta know when to be, I'm saying, alone. You gotta know when you need people, when you need somebody to speak life into you, when you need the right company around you too. But I definitely feel, I will say, being alone and being, I'm saying, sitting with yourself and sitting down, like, yo, God, like, what do I need to do? Not only just better myself, like, God, what do I need to do to deal with the stuff I deal with the, you know what I'm saying, if you have insecurities, deal with, you know what I'm saying, just anything. I know everybody got their own flaws, everybody got all the stuff they deal with, so that's one of those things, you sit down with yourself, because if we don't sit down with ourselves and we don't, you know what I'm saying, have our alone time, and we don't do all this stuff, and we always around people, when can we really heal ourselves? When can we really deal with our own trauma? When can we really start to realize that, you know what I'm saying, a lot of times we affecting the people around us. We can't help the people around us get better because we haven't dealt with ourselves yet. You know what I'm saying? So all the stuff we have with, whether that be, I know fear is always gonna come in, whether it be fear or you have your own, know what I'm saying, your own problems. A lot of times when we have that, we pushing it on other people without even knowing it. You feel me? And they dealing with stuff, and they probably trying to get out something that you dealing with. You know what I'm saying? So y'all got the same, like I always say, y'all got the same chains, but nobody done broke out the chain yet because nobody was able to sit down with themselves. You know what I mean? And that's why I feel like introvert is not always a bad thing. I know a lot of people be like, no, you can't be by yourself. No, it's bad be by yourself. You can't do this alone. And I understand that. It's not a bad thing to have the right people around you and stuff like that. But sometimes you have to, it's not even being alone. It's like sometimes it got to be you and God. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, no matter if somebody's try to change your mindset or this, like do this, do that, they can always push that life into you, which is good. But sometimes the only person that can really change something is yourself. The only person that can really change something is God. You know what I'm saying? And it's still, God can tell you, you know what I mean? You spend the time with God, but the time you spend the time with God, that's Him changing you too. But you can't do that if you're always having somebody around you. You can't do that if you're always having, I'm saying, voices in your ear, bad company around you. So it's like, man, I know a lot of people, this is a huge question. I know a lot of people, I've always thought about this too, because I've always been, I think I've been an introvert. I ain't gonna lie. I think I am an introvert. You know what I mean? And I like spending time alone by myself. And I feel like the time alone that I spent with myself is the time that I healed a lot of stuff I was dealing with. That you know what I'm saying? I dealt with a lot of stuff, and where it's like I was able to spend time with God and start learning why I'm feeling like this. Start learning why was I fearful of this. Start learning, like, you know what I'm saying? And it makes you sit down and start to realize a lot of stuff about yourself. Now, if you're an introvert and you sitting down and you just binge watching this or doing this, doing that, that's where it can kind of get tricky, because it's like you're not really dealing with yourself just yet. You really just coping with yourself. You feel me? So you ain't really trying to heal something. You ain't really trying to do nothing. You just trying to satisfy a lot of, I guess, you know what I'm saying, satisfy a lot of stuff with the flesh. So then it's like, yeah, that's where a lot of times you don't want to be by yourself. That's where a lot of times they're like, people be like, man, I can't do it by myself. It's just because we haven't really been taught how to deal with the trauma we went with. We haven't really been taught of how to, I'm saying, go about healing the trauma or dealing with the things we've been through. Like, so a lot of times we don't want to be alone. A lot of times we don't want to be. And I feel like everybody is, in their own type of way, is introvert. But I feel like a lot of people don't want to be introvert or be alone is because we don't know how to deal with ourselves. We don't want to deal with ourselves. So personally, do I think introvert is bad? Nah. But like I told y'all before in the video, I do believe you do need your time alone, because that time alone you be by yourself, and that time you spend with God is the time where you figure a lot of stuff about yourself, a lot of things of why you was dealing with this and dealing with that. And the more you heal yourself, the more you let God change you, let God do His work inside of you, the more you're going to help the people around you, the more you're going to save the people around you that really been wanting to come up for air, but they didn't know how to. And man, but yeah, man, that's it for the video. I appreciate y'all. I appreciate the love, man. Thank y'all for the subs on this channel. You know what I'm saying? I definitely need to start posting more on this daily channel, man. But if you haven't already, go subscribe to my main channel too. I'm gonna leave all my links for my social medias in the description box below, so definitely follow that too. Even my thread on Instagram. You know what I'm saying? I ain't have no Twitter. I did before back then, but I got off Twitter. But yeah, man, definitely go follow my links down below, man. I appreciate y'all. I'm gonna catch y'all in the next vid.